We are back live, guys. Thanks for joining us, getting the messages turned on. And today we're going to talk about different donkeys and how different they all are. Let us know if you can hear us and where you're watching from, guys.
There, we got someone on there.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so tonight we're working with 9 different wild donkeys. And we actually just brought a 10th into the training pens today. And what we're going to talk about is we have these 9 different donkeys, and they are all so
this
different.
many.
It's a lot, right? So with all these donkeys that we have in the training pens, we have some that are like struggling to be okay around us, and other ones that are okay wearing a halter already.
Yeah, it's really, considering it all captured this last summer, they're all, for the most part, the same age. I think most of them are from the same HMA.
There's 2 different HMAs.
Yeah,
that
so
they're from,
really,
yeah.
2 different HMAs. And how different their personalities are, how their confidence levels. Because there's literally some that are like escaped from a petting zoo and got captured on Roundup Day, and some who they act like they've been running from grizzly bears and lions their whole life. They just are terrified.
Now, guys, I see questions all the time about like, what am I doing wrong? Why does my donkey still freeze? Or why does that donkey okay with the halter, or his donkey's okay with the halter, and the one I'm working with, we're still being okay with them eating from my hand or being comfortable around me? Another one I see is, why did the last donkey go fast or slow and this one is different, right? Like, it's all the same training method, so why is it all so different? And don't worry, if you're in this boat, if you're worried about how the progression is going with your donkey, take a breath. You're okay. Your donkey's just on their own timeline. And tonight we just want to talk about how they're all so different, and that's okay. And what our thought process is when we're going through all these different donkeys, because we really do. We work with them and then we're like, oh, should I do it differently? Like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? For the donkey, right? So 2 of them that we're working with out of these 9 already have halters on. 5 of them are, is it 5 comfortable with touch? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's, we could halter those other 3. They're just,
Well, we haven't tried
we haven't
yet,
tried,
but-
but they giving all the telltale signs. It's only going to be a couple sessions to halter them.
And then we have 3 that we're still working with them being okay with us being around them. Like, not even necessarily comfortable enough to eat from our hands yet.
Yes, just getting them to flinch when we touch them gently on the withers with a 9-foot training stick.
And one of them will let me touch him, and he doesn't flinch with the long training stick. And yet he's so nervous and uncomfortable that I'm coming back and I'm like reevaluating. So that's part of what we're going to talk about, is like what kind of things that we're watching for, and that can help you along your own journey. And just know that you are not the problem, and the donkey's not even the problem. They're just learning at their own pace, and they all are different. Now, the first thing that I do notice, and these 9 are teaching us the same thing again. The older ones, gentle, slower, and train faster. The younger ones, gentle, quicker, and train slower because they have a baby brain. But the older ones, they already have life experience.
Yeah, they got life experience. They're savvy, and so once you're over once they're certain you're not going to eat them, that you can cover a lot of ground in a hurry. But gaining that trust takes quite a bit longer.
Right, and of the 3 that are taking the longest right now, I think we got 8 and 9 years old, and then a 2-year-old are the ones that are taking the longest.
Yep.
And then the rest of them that are doing really well came to us at 2 and 3. Now that it's the first of the year,
Yeah.
they would be 1 year older. But
This morning we got a good session in before we went to a meeting, and MaryJo was working with I'm not going to say a problem donkey, just one who's very stoic, very cautious. It's like 50 first dates every time MaryJo works for them. And more to the story, there's one donkey out in holding. It's a little one, only 2 years old. It looks pregnant. We're like, man, she don't look like she's like she ate like a balloon or something. So, but we always think donkeys are pregnant. So
even the boys look
yeah,
pregnant.
MaryJo's like, oh, he looks pregnant. And like, no, these aren't those kind of donkeys. So we went out and we did a little wrangle, and we ran this new donkey in. We've never handled it. We've never like barely looked at it other than when we're out there feeding, like, oh, it looks pregnant. We should look closer. So we get this brand new donkey, unhandled, in, and I'm in the pen next to MaryJo. And we let this donkey run around and have diarrhea, and it was trying to dig its way out. And
Diarrhea is from stress.
yeah,
guys.
it was. This donkey was losing its mind because it wasn't where it was used to being. And we let it calm down. And I went into that pen, and MaryJo went into a pen next to me, or 2 pens over, with a donkey. That's your 8th or 10th session with that guy. And I'm in this pen with a donkey that was just having diarrhea, trying to dig its way out because it had never been in a pen with a human ever. During a 15-minute session, we became buddies. I'm scratching her behind the ear, and she's sniffing my face. I'm like, oh, aren't you the cutest little thing? And she's over there in the other pen with a donkey that's been worked with 10 times, trying to be able to touch it with a 9-foot stick and have it eat hay 3 feet from her. We're not doing anything wrong. It's just all donkeys are different. I wasn't being a better trainer. I didn't have a secret recipe or magic coupon.
Those donkeys make you feel like a really
Yeah,
good
you
trainer.
feel like, oh man, I should get a job doing this or something, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you struggling with a donkey, it's not you, it's not the donkey. Just give it time.
And they turn into amazing donkeys.
They do.
Once they trust.
They will all become what I call awful. The ones that are like, they meet you at the gate, they get in the way, they want to stand until you pet them. That's just kind of, they're awful. They're in the way.
Totally.
They all get there. The oldest, crustiest donkey will get there. It just may take a little more time. So be persistent and patient and enjoy the journey.
So let's talk some about like what we're watching for. So this number 27 that I've been working with, what I'm watching for, what I'm reevaluating, and then I'm doing things different. Like today I started off and I'm like, wow, we just had like the best training session. And then I wanted to end it with, well, will you eat hay from my hand now? And I feel like we lost all of our progress. So what am I watching for? I started off having them eat hay in the pen with me. So this could be like 20 feet away. And he had to get comfortable enough to eat in my presence. And then I would keep moving the food closer. So this could be hay. It could be, we use like rolled or crimped oats, not alfalfa.
Timothy pellets.
Timothy pellets. And there's one more thing. Oh, just like a low starch grain sometimes. So having him eat closer and closer to me. But even though he will eat close to me, he will shut down. So he'll be okay eating 20 feet from me or right next to my feet. And then all of a sudden he'll be like, that's enough. I've had it. And he'll just go stand in the corner and pout.
Yep.
I want to create a yes donkey. So if he's shutting down, I'm just going to move that food further away from me to help him be comfortable enough in my presence to eat. So we did that. And then we're like, well, I wonder what would happen with the long stick. Let's try the long stick. So the long stick, I'm standing on the other side of the pen and I'm just making a silhouette of his body. I'm not touching him. And what I'm looking for is relaxation. So relaxation with your donkey, it could be them taking a breath or licking and chewing. Those are like pretty obvious signs, right? But the less obvious signs are maybe lowering the head just a tad. Blinking slowly would be a big sign of relaxation.
Yep.
Having their ears be able to move around some rather than watching you like it's a horror movie. WS word. Hey, I found a method that works for my donkey when it comes to leading. I've been riding my other donkey, but he doesn't want to go. I need him to. Any advice to training him to ride? So he's not going when you're trying to ride him or just leading him. Which way is he not walking or moving for you? And then we will answer your question for sure. So when I'm watching for these relaxations or signs that they're starting to understand and like feel comfortable in my presence, all of those small things, like how many wrinkles are between their nose and their mouth, the slow blinking, their ears moving. Oh, like just watching their whole muscle structure, like their eyes, do they look relaxed or do they look more tense? Their eyes tell us a lot when we can watch for them. Mm-hmm. So I was watching all these things like super carefully today. I watch them every day, right? But I'm like, okay, I just need to slow down. And that session today, I felt like he relaxed more in my presence than ever before. I own 2. The one I ride leads great. I'll sit on him, and my brother, we gotta go.
Oh, did I break it?
Oh, you broke it. I sit on him, and my brother leads him. He doesn't go when I ride him. Oh, yes.
Oh, we've been there.
Yes.
We've been there. My saddle donkey, I ride a mammoth donkey because I'm a big dude. It takes a big donkey to haul me around. We bought her halter broke to like catch, but she didn't lead where the hoot. When she was delivered, they barely got her in a trailer, and we got her here, unloaded her in a pen, and we kind of had to start over, start training this donkey from scratch, which is a wonderful journey. Fast forward to it's time to go riding. We've introduced the saddle. She's not going to throw me off. I've been on and off 15, 20 times until she's comfortable, and finally get on and actually sit there, feet in the stirrups. Then we graduated to, okay, let's actually try and get some forward progress. We had a race. MaryJo had a donkey named Valhalla, a wild one that Amanda has now. Kind of at the same place in her training level, okay?
Yep.
So we opened up the pen, so it's 45 feet long, and just for fun, and I'm trying to help you here, and just for fun, we're like, let's have a race to the other side of the pen. Okay, and it was tap, 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 flapping your legs like a baby bird, just to try and get a lean forward, or you feel like they're gonna lift up their leg and stop. Okay, and give it a short break, and then do it again. Start being slightly annoying, kicking your legs, not kicking them with your heels, but flapping your legs, getting a little contact with your calves, and every time you feel a try, stop. So they're getting that reward. It might be a teeny weeny little bit, but give them a reward of a release. Stop being annoying every time they try to move forward. Okay, and the moral of the story is if you hang in there and do that, your legs are gonna burn. You're gonna be like, oh, Dan, you know what he's talking about. Your legs are gonna hurt. They are, if you do this right. It took us like, was it 10 or 12 minutes?
I feel like it was a half hour to go.
Yeah,
there
I'm like,
and back.
oh my God, my legs are killing me. I mean, we're not talking like abusive kick. We're just being annoying. Flap your legs, toot, and reward that try every time. It took probably 10, 12 minutes to get to one side. Now, the big challenge is, will they go back? We're talking in a pen, 45 feet maybe, okay? We probably may have burned up a half hour to go from one end to the other.
Now she'll go in the mountains and she'll work cattle.
Yeah, we're moving cattle on donkeys. We're riding parades. We're doing fun stuff.
Let's talk about the breaks though, because we have to reward the try guys. We have to reward them thinking about doing or trying to find the answer. So the first, when you're rewarding the try, it was going to be, let's just say a minimum of 10 to 30 seconds. Depends on how hard it was for him. And then another thing, like when we were doing that before, we were doing the wiggling your legs, squeeze. Like you're going to start off asking with your pinky toes. You're going to just shift your weight. You're going to be starting so small, right? But then as you get bigger,
Yes.
the part that we've changed from the kicking or flapping your legs is to have some kind of like a tail end, like a halter or something that you can kind of wave, because you kind of want to startle them to go a little bit. And the reason is we don't want to dull them up.
Right. Like if you got a manicotti or something, that's real handy to give a little bit of excitement back there.
Yep.
And this is very important, and I'm going to repeat what MaryJo said exactly, just in my language. You have to stop giving that pressure the second they try. Okay, because if you continue to kick and give that pressure, even though they've started moving, you're telling them it's the wrong answers for the question.
So you cannot move your legs or flap your arms or do anything to get that forward movement again until they come to a complete stop.
And you might only go 6 inches. And the next time it might be 9 inches. But eventually it will be 2 feet, 4 feet. Next thing you know, you're riding like a saddle animal. It's going to be in little bites and increments. You're not going to jump on and go check the mail the first time. It's going to be manage your expectations, and the sky is the limit.
And like go into it with how far can I go today, and then just compare yourself each day to the last session, right? Don't compare yourself to the donkey that's already rocking it. And I know what you mean, because when we started Seamus under saddle, this was, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago now, we could not get that donkey to move to save our life. So I went up, our daughter was riding Seamus, and she was bareback because he's too fat to put a saddle on. He came to us so fat. So she's bareback sitting up on him, and these are just little kid rides, But then I had to go up with my horse and push him, and I don't recommend this. I pushed Seamus's butt with my horse's chest to get him to move. Now, I've learned better since then, right? So I'm not going to do that anymore. But I do understand the whole, how do I get this donkey to move?
We've all been there. It's like this is this is a lot of work and it's boring. This is the slowest ride I've ever been on because I've only gone 2 feet in 2 hours.
Okay, so let's see. Said 3 sessions in a row is the magic number. You are so right, Banjo.
Absolutely.
But how do you consider breaks, and how many days would you say is good? Do they like breaks in training? And then Banjo says, I'm talking about days without training, not breaks during the session. Okay, so 3 days in a row is magic. So let's just use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and let's just say you're doing groundwork training or riding training, like you're gonna do the more focused training during those 3 days. And then let's just say on day 4, maybe day 4, day 5, you go and catch them, love on them, brush them, clean their feet, just do the basic kind of stuff that they all need to be good at. And it's not that the days that you're not training, you don't need to do anything with them. It's that you don't need to have that intense. There's something magic about 3. And because I miscounted, we have over 30 animals here right now. So like, I want to do 3 days in a row, and that's my goal this year, is to get 3 days in a row with our own animals. But like, I had training, no, we did a ride, and then I wanted to ride again, but I didn't have time. So I went and I caught her, and I just brushed her and cleaned her feet and gave her love.
Yeah. So it's a great question. Your 3 days in a row are magic. Many people have like jobs and responsibilities and stuff, so maybe you don't have the time for several days. If it works out where you can't do anything meaningful with your donkey for 3-4 days, you should be able to pick up right where you left off. Maybe you'll go back a teeny little bit. So you're not going to lose those 3 days in a row that you put in.
And then the other part of this is that, let's just say you're able to pull off the 3 days in a row. The other 4 days, you could do nothing with them, and life will keep going, right?
Yep.
But when you can pull off those 3 days in a row, sometimes your donkey needs to have more than 3 days. But there's something magic if you can get 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
So if you only have 3 days a week to train, don't choose Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Lump them together.
Yep.
And if you can fit in a 4th day, that's okay too. And something, in your off time when it's not really a training day, and I'm going to harp on this. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine because I've done it to myself before. Is let's say we're talking about a saddle donkey or a mule or a horse. When on a non-riding or non-training day, it's serious extra credit. If you go hang out in the pasture or the pen, it's serious extra credit.
Sorry.
Okay.
If you go hang out in the pasture.
Yeah, and don't ask them for anything. Just actually hang out. Just pet them. If you're a cookie person, give them a cookie. Halter them. Take the halter off without asking them to do anything. Make you going into that pasture, or paddock, or pen a pleasant experience. Because believe me, and this is absolutely true, if the only time you go and catch your animal is when you're going to make it work, eventually it's going to be a circus catching your animal. Okay, you want to have an animal that you can go out into a 5-acre pasture when it's time to use them. Yeah, they might be busy eating some green stuff, but you should be able to get their attention. Most often they'll actually come to you, or if you have to walk to them, you don't have them trying to get away from you. You want your interaction with them to be very positive. So even if you have a trained donkey or a trained mule or trained horse, don't treat it like a 4-wheeler. Actually give it some time and some attention that is not work related on a day that's not training. And thank me later, because nothing's more frustrating. You want to go for a ride and the critters don't want to be caught and they're in a big pasture.
You want them to never know why you're catching them. Are you catching them
Yes.
today to brush them and love on them, or to go for a ride?
Absolutely.
Groundwork. So, and to answer more on the 3 days in a row, like when we're working with the wild donkeys, they don't get 3 days in a row. They get typically 7 days in a row. Okay, so sometimes your donkey might need more than 3 days in a row, but there's still something magic about the consecutive days.
Yes. Yeah, and if you're going 4 and 5 days in a row, that's great too. But if you hit that 3 days, It's great.
Let us know if we answered your question, Banjo. And I forgot what his name was.
There's
or
a person
her.
with a donkey that we were riding that wasn't going.
WS Word. Let us know if we did good answering your question, okay? So what we're doing with these new wilds right now, we're feeding them by hand. We're watching their comfort from a distance. Like even when we're not in the pen for them. Oh, remember I was working with one that we're calling Elton John.
Oh, Elton.
No, was it Elton? Okay,
The pink one with white ears?
But he blew 4 or 6 times. Who was it that blew?
It was Elton.
It was Elton. So that's like such a cool sign. When you're done with their session, you leave the pen and you're still down there. 6.
All makes sense. Okay.
All right, cool beans. So when you're done with your session, and you're not done at the barn yet, right? Or at the pasture yet. And when you're giving them their break, and for us, we're just moved on to another wild. And then during that break time, it was his 15 minutes while I was working with the other one. He blew, I think it was 6 or 8 times. It was a lot.
A lot. And that was, you introduced the stick to him that time, didn't you?
Yes, and that was only his second session. The session before, he was in a different pen and I was just feeding him hay through the fence. So it was but he was like willing. It was his first day in the pens with us.
Yeah. Did you know about an hour later after, when I was taking a break, I went and took a break in a pen with him after he did that. And he was coming up pretty boldly snatching hay.
I love that.
Right in the pen, yeah.
So let's say the things that we're watching for when they're getting hay from us, like so number 27, the one that's so hard, he comes up all gently and he'll take a bite of hay, like super careful, and he'll come away with like 1 blade of hay, and then he'll go to the other side of the pen, and then he's done. I've tried enough.
He's broken. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we call it when they just cannot function anymore. Or they were doing something well, and then now they're not doing that same thing well. They're broken. That's what we say.
Yeah, but broken, and that's a good time. You find something they can say yes to, and then give them a break.
And during that time that they're broken, and then they have a break, and again, we're saying broken, not literally, right? That's when they're actually learning. They're taking time to think about what just happened, how they feel about it. They're kind of assessing the situation. And what are they always assessing, guys? Who knows what they're always assessing? Put it in the comments if you know the answer to that.
Think of it as, remember, maybe some of you have been around long enough. Remember the old dial-up internet? And it's making that thing, your AOL thing, be spinning in the computer. Okay? Your donkeys are over there kind of connecting to the internet process and all that. It's very important to let them have that time, and you don't try and use the internet while the thing's still spinning in the middle of the screen.
Absolutely.
Let them get connected with the dial-up.
Absolutely. Oh, and then my sessions with, we're calling him Black Nose, but Tony is what Dan's been calling him. So Tony, I don't have first touch on him yet. I am so close to first touch. Yeah, so close. But when I get like so close to him, he starts to think that the answer is to back up. So that just means that he's nervous. Backing up means nervous. Going forward means nervous. Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to get first touch. I'm just trying to get him comfortable next to me. So I'm rocking the baby a lot with him. So that's when you stand there and then you just rock back and forth with your body.
Slowly, not like you're dancing. Just
kind
of lean towards them. And the trick is, when you lean towards them, like you're rocking towards them, to rock back before they react and move away from you.
Yep.
And it's more difficult than it sounds. You gotta be watching and not staring at them. You'll be watching for those signs that they're starting to lean away. There's something so you don't overdo it.
A shift in their weight.
Yeah. If you can get away with the rocking the baby and getting a little closer and a little closer every time, or not even closer, just a certain distance, get them used to that. And then you can start incrementally going a little bit further and a little bit further. The key is to stop before you've gone too far.
Another thing I think that we're watching for is movement. So sometimes when I'm just feeding them hay in the pen, I can feed 3 or 4 at one time. And it's so funny. I'll have like a bucket that I just shove full of hay and then I just feed it to them. Now, when I first start and I go to get some hay out of there and then move my arm, they're just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And they run to the other side of the pasture or the training pen. And then later on, maybe they just lean back and eventually they don't move at all. Mm-hmm. 27, he's still like, I am out of here. This looks scary.
Something I like, and Elton was doing it today. because I didn't know if he's gonna come and grab hay or not. Because you had already worked him an hour earlier, and it was scary. You had to stake and he blew 6 to 8 times in 15 minutes, all that. But it was cool, and this is important for you guys to hear. He walked straight up to me. I watched my angle, so I'm not facing him directly. I'm kind of at a bit of an angle, and had my hand out with a long bunch of hay that was sticking out of my hand this far. He walked right up confidently, grabbed a mouthful, snatched it, and backed up a couple steps and stood there eating it, staring at me, staring at him, kind of from the side. But within a couple of munches, he'd come back up, grab more. Pretty soon, he wasn't backing up at all. He came up, snatched that hay, standing there almost in my bubble, and not backing away.
It's a sign of comfort.
Yeah, and that was, at that point in time, I did nothing. Just let him eat his hay. Don't try and touch him. Don't give him the oochie-goochies. Don't cheer. Don't jump up and down.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You want to cheer, and inside, you're like screaming at the top of your lungs with excitement. But on the outside, and you guys might notice this because I'm kind of a spaz, but when I'm in the training pen, I'm not. And later on, we do get to be a spaz around them.
Uh-huh.
But not at this stage. When your donkey is still afraid to be around you, that's not the time. Because what happens with the donkey, which is a little bit different than a horse, a donkey, when they hit that threshold, they're just going to shut down. And once they shut down, you're done until they come out of it. And we don't know how long it'll take. And if we cause them to shut down on too much of a regular basis, they will associate us with the best way to get it away from this pressure is to shut down.
Yep.
So
yeah, exactly. And then with Elton, when he didn't back away and he kept eating hay from my hand until it was gone, I simply turned the rest of the way around and went to the other end of the pen, stood there for a minute, and then that was the end of the session.
That is like a really good point, Dan, because the best way to help them understand that they found the right answer is to turn away and walk away as far as you can get.
Yep.
That'll help them learn faster that they have found the right answer.
Yep. So it was a great day.
It was. And my session with Tony, the black-nosed one, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to touch that boy. All right, let's see. So we have some like pin their ears back and run after us. One little girl does that.
We've got the baby one. There's a yearling got slipped in with this load. She'll, like, MaryJo enters a pen. She comes running like a bullet across the pen with her ears back like Jar Jar Binks from Star Trek. Or Star Wars, just runs right up to her. She's excited and focused. If you didn't know this donkey, you might think, oh my God, I'm going to get bit.
The person who's adopting her, the first time she did it, was totally terrified. And I'm like, yeah, she's not trying to be aggressive. She wants to play. She's excited. Now, we can't let them play, right? So if she gets close to me, I'll put my hands up.
Yeah.
But I don't scold her because she's just being young.
Yep. Just hand gestures. Put your hands out. Wave your arms. And she'll be like, oh, okay, I better not go racing into her bubble.
But we have, 5 that are coming to the gate now when we go out there. That's so cool.
Yep.
So remember, guys, progress, it's not linear. It's not going to be the same for every animal. And sometimes you're going to have sessions where you go backwards and then you have to rebuild things. That's all okay because we're learning. Like, I push things with 27 just to kind of find my limits with him. Like, I found out that he's totally willing to kick if he's too nervous. And that's okay, guys. I'm not upset with him for trying to kick. He's wild.
If he wanted to kick you, he could.
Oh, yeah, and he would not miss.
And he's just showing that he can kick.
Now, faster is not better, but you know what is better is regulated. We want to help them manage their emotions and regulate their emotions. We have to help them find that, though. So that's more important than speed. Remember, when a donkey's pausing, they're thinking.
Yep. Remember the dial-up internet and the thing spinning in the middle of the TV?
And when we're trying to compare, and even though we don't want to do this, and I don't want to do this, I do. Like, well, look at, these ones are so fast and this one is so slow. We can't compare them to each other. We cannot. We just have to consider what's holding them back. And so often, the answer for me is just go slower.
Time.
Yeah. So, guys, this is a big part of the reason that we've started offering the 3-day clinics where you bring your own donkey here, as well as the 5-day gentling camps. So with the gentling camps, you come here, you pick out your donkey that you're going to adopt, and then we're going to help you with all of that transition.
5 long days, I believe, from 8 to 4. I mean, it's a long day.
Might be longer than that.
Getting to, and these, your donkey might not be running up and give you a hug the first day.
No.
The goal with the camp is when you leave here with your 2 adopted donkeys, you're going to have a good handle on who they are, how they react to the training, and within 5 days, you can have a pretty good handle on your expectations. We'll have a good handle on, is this donkey going to be fast, or is going to be it'll get there, but it's going to be, one might be really fast, one might be slow. Very well, we'll be able to tell you, you'll probably be doing this with this one by this amount of time, and the other one's going to be much longer than that.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But we want to help you learn to be able to read the body language, learn your angles. Angles are such a big deal for doing this.
I have to remind myself, I'm constantly catching myself facing them directly, straight on. It's a whole different thing when you quarter a little bit away from them. You know, so you still got to be able to see them, obviously. But it's less intimidating with these wilds to not be facing them directly. If the donkey's facing north, you want to be maybe facing. You don't want to be facing south. Like the donkey be more alongside of it, and turned at a quarter.
So at the clinics, when you guys sign up, there's limited spaces available for the clinics where you're bringing the donkey that you already have. Those are going to be 4 people per clinic. And I have the dates, so if you guys are interested, you email me. So the clinics email trainingwellburros@gmail.com. And then if you're interested in the donkey gentling clinic or camp, that one's the 5-day, that's the intensive one. That one there, you're going to email info@famousshamusfarm.org. That's our nonprofit.
You bet. Yeah, that's fun. The camp's going to be fun. It's going to be a good adventure for everyone involved. Day 1, you'll be standing outside the pen. We'll be picking out donkeys. We'll let you know what we've seen, because these will be generally unhandled donkeys.
No, we can do where we get them gentled already.
Yeah, we can have some of the groundwork started, so it's a little bit less of a mystery, but it's still a pretty big journey over 5 days. So you'll be able to experience going from a holding pen to loading in a trailer calmly at the end of the week.
Knowing when to push and when to back off, and
Yep.
how to read all those body language signs and our angles, all that stuff is going to be, we'll be there walking you through all of this. So just let us know if you're interested, and we'll get you information.
Little things, when you grab donkeys for the camp from our holding pens, ahead of camp, and we do this anyway, in our training pens, we have an old dilapidated horse trailer.
Yes.
And that's one of the walls in the pen. So there's always a horse trailer at the pen. And when it comes to trailer loading, it sometimes is a pretty big obstacle for donkeys. Or all equine, really. When we start looking at trailer loading and training, we're feeding them in that trailer. We're sprinkle a little feed at the mouth of it, and we put the bulk of the feed up in that trailer. So before we're even trying to get these donkeys into a trailer with a lead rope and a halter on, they're already used to going into that trailer. So it's a little less scary for them when you go to do it with a lead rope and a halter, because they've been there before. Never been there before being, with a human guiding them. That's something we have here to make sure that they can get hauled home on end of the last day.
Typically, trailer training is it's not so very hard for us in the past. It's gone well. I think we've had one horse that was hard, and we figured it out, and he came in calmly, but most of them go pretty well into the
Was that
trailer.
Corky?
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will go live again next week, so we're going to keep going weekly now that our 50-day Go Live challenge is done. And again, email us if you're interested in the clinic or the camp that we're going to be having.
And again, if you're stuck in a tight spot, and we haven't answered any of the questions here this evening, shoot us a message. We'll do our best to get back to you and try and give you our opinion on how we'd handle that situation if we were in your shoes.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, you guys have a great evening, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.